The most valuable things in life are difficult, but typically the difficulty doesn't lie in doing them today. The difficulty lies in doing them every day. You know, the people at Dunkin' Donuts probably thought I died or something. There was some guy in the comments that of some previous video said I live like a hobo. Correct. I'm the hobo who made it. Morning roundup. Check out this wolf. We have to do supports on the ears here, but came out real nice. And of course, we are pumping out spools. I think we're actually kind of good for a while. I've got a pretty good stockpile, so we can print some normal stuff. Big old custom Tesla. They wanted it life size, so I made it ridiculously big. You guys saw this late in the last episode, but yes, this Euromastix turned out, other than a little bit of stringing here, turned out basically perfect. Takes forever to make these things. I almost can't charge enough for these. A good rule of thumb is if you kind of hate printing something, just charge more. I think we had a clog on this guy. The shark was purely for stock buildup purposes, so it's not really a tragedy. This alien boy is coming along fine. This Brontosaurus, almost done. Didn't reset this printer yet. Sharko. Time to warm up the old extrusion line. Actually, this is the old extrusion line. That is the new extrusion line. And the hopper is full of that precious good. Also, longtime viewers will remember I instituted the rule that this has to be going while this is heating up, because this doesn't make any noise and I just kind of forget that it's happening sometimes. But if we got a squeaky little wheel thing going, I will remember that this is a live wire right here. As usual, set up all the printers to be doing their thing, and they appear to be doing a glorious job. We are going to get both extrusion lines going. This one is going, and this one is warming up. And then we've got a bunch of packages to segue to clients. All right, these little guys are headed down the right path. Let's do the segue adventure. This is what I have to take by hand to the carrier. And this is why I really want my car to work again. This one is extra large. I guess this is gonna work. A little awkward, but it works. Kind of gloomy out today, but it's actually a really nice temperature. Something occurred to me. Scott Adams, who is a guy that has had some controversy, so I'm not necessarily endorsing everything he's ever believed. Like with anybody I might reference, he said this thing that really has stuck in my head and been useful, which is, if you're ever in a weird or difficult spot in life, think about it this way. Think about your life with this frame. Imagine you just spawned into your life as you, like it was a game. Meaning, like, imagine you're playing a game and the starting point of that game is where you're at right now. You know, forget about everything that led up to it in some sense, but just be in your life right now and think like, okay, if this was my starting point, what would I do? Like, how would I get out of this? Or something like that. I think it works as an analogy really well, because like, games are difficult and they're supposed to be difficult, and the whole point of games is to solve problems, to overcome challenges. And so like, if you just stop thinking about how bad everything has been to get you to where you are, then you're kind of mentally free just to solve the problems. Anyway, I'm saying this because of what I'm doing right now. I would be tempted to complain that I have to do this, but dodging the branch here. Ugh. I'd be tempted to complain about the fact that I have to do this, but the simple fact is, this is the best solution I can think of. And there's really no point in like lamenting the fact that I can't drive my car right now. go. I think I have about 3 trips worth of stuff. Before I forget, got to go get that part. AC idler pulley. Yesterday, after looking at the engine for a long time, which is part of why yesterday's episode was so short, we determined that my AC system was pretty much unsavable, or at least not without significant expense. So instead of the AC compressor, this is a pulley that serves the same function but doesn't do anything. I mean, it serves the same function in terms of routing the serpentine belt. And the upside of that, even though it's going to suck to not have AC in Texas, this is not expensive. Oh, I was thinking about that hobo comment a little more. Not really because it bothers me, because I've been on the internet a really long time, and I've had a million things said to me, so it's not that kind of thing. What it made me think of is like, man, there are so many people that don't realize that low expectations for comfort is a superpower. Like, we live in an extremely consumerist culture. Obviously people have written about this a lot, and believe me, I'm a free market guy. I own a business. It's nothing against the market, but it is a little bit against some of the values we have, because our sense of responsibility to each other in a community sense has largely been replaced by the responsibility to just consume products. And that's just a really bad thing. But it's also bad on a personal level, because if you're constantly just spending everything you make, you're never going to build any wealth. And so, yeah, maybe I'm a little more extreme because I actually did live on the streets, and I have very little expectations for fancy things in my life. But I just wish more people realized how much of an advantage it is. Like, I'm not ashamed of it. If anything, I'm kind of proud of it. I know I can live on nothing and be basically more or less happy. The shame isn't that somebody thought I looked like a hobo or lived like a hobo, whatever they said. The shame is that they think they shouldn't. We're gonna sling this one, and this one's pretty light, so I'm carrying that. Round 2. I checked the amount of battery, and we're doing good. Act 3, delivery zone, fight, final round. Maybe after this, we'll charge the Segway again and actually go get that fancy coffee that I was talking about last time. Things just didn't work out. Traffic. I think there's a chick that works there that kind of likes me. She's like, do you have any more trips here today? Like, to pick you up after work. I think I'm learning probably best to do this before rush hour. I just remembered that coffee place I want to go. It's pretty close to the Mexican supermarket. So maybe we can get some taco stuff after coffee. That sounds like a good idea. Back at the shop, that charging is going to take a bit. So let's do some work. What a novel idea. This is for an international customer, a Moai 2. This is an international shipment. Something that's worth talking about is, of course, with international shipments, you have 2 whole postal systems. Sometimes they're kind of janky postal systems on the other end. Not that ours is that great. So you really got to pack things extra well. Just something worth noting. Red Orwell. Kind of a strange choice, but it's cool. Turned off the filament. We're gonna go get that coffee. It's just a little far away. I don't want to be like, having this stuff going. But we're making a bunch of filament, and we will get the racks nice and full, as always. I'm glad that one person asked me to estimate how much filament I could make in a day, because I hadn't exactly thought about it. But yeah, I think we can do, the absolute max would be 70 pounds of filament per day production with 2 of these. It'd have to be running like the whole time, but I think that's possible. Look at this. The actual thing broke. I'm actually not totally sure that I can't run it without this, but We're gonna have to print another one. This, I don't know what you'd call it, a spool clutch, maybe? It's about 4 years old, so it was only gonna last so long. I don't think it's gonna rain. It's a little cloudy, but we should be okay. This is gonna be fun. This is a more distant segue trip than I normally take, but it'll be cool. Making my way downtown. Historic downtown Nacogdoches. Stonehouse Kitchen is really good. Maybe we'll go there sometime. This place opened up 6 months ago or so, and it is so good. You have no idea how much like self-control I have to exercise knowing this is like 2 blocks away. Because of the bush here, this is not crossable. So here's what I do instead. And so on. It feels like the word emblazoned should mean you're high. So this is Java Jack's. This is one of the first places I ever went in Nacogdoches. Me and my wife were visiting friends that we had here, and for the first time we hung out here. Then we did a bunch of other stuff, which was fun. But there's kind of a lot of memories here. I used to live very close to this, and in the early days of the business, it's like it'd be fun to walk here and just get some cold brew or something, and then go back and just package a bunch of orders. Really, this place is kind of part of the legacy of the business in a way. And yes, this guy with a blue Volkswagen Beetle comes here all the time. I don't know what he looks like, but he has a pretty nice ride there. I think we may actually stay for a couple minutes. I mean, it'd be only like 10 minutes or something. I can spare the time. Cold brew, Southwest wrap. Really playing the classics today. That was really, really good. That little chocolate croissant thing, it's the kind of thing I have to forget exists because dang, it is tasty. Maybe we'll take a picture next to this. One of those can be a thumbnail. I was gonna get taco stuff, but I don't feel like it now. Plus, I feel weird carrying a drink in. I don't know. I got food. It's fine. Pretty trafficy out here. Maybe we'll take some back streets. So what's wrong with taking the back streets? Apparently that is the answer. Guess we're gonna cut around here. A little rough, but I think we're gonna cut by the old Fredonia Hotel, so that's always a nice sight. Places like this really remind me of like growing up in the Midwest, because it's just a bunch of brick buildings that are empty and don't do anything anymore. Growing up in the Rust Belt, it's like there's this mentality that like, it's like a baseline feeling that everybody has that like, this used to be a good place. This used to be a place people actually wanted to live. Probably a lot of places in America are kind of like that, but from the history that I understand of places like Indiana, or I mean even parts of Chicago and different Midwestern places, that's where all the factories and stuff used to be. Like when my grandpa was 18, he got a factory job and he could support several kids and own a house, go on vacations. He even learned to fly at a certain point. And then he started his own business, a beef jerky business I've kind of talked about before. And so it's like, that used to be kind of normal in America, you know? Not to complain too much about things, but things have changed if you haven't noticed. Fredonia. There we go, better shot. Kitty catty. And now I'm about to scare the cat. Yup. I kind of grew up in fairly, obviously I've talked about this before. I grew up in fairly rough circumstances, I would say. I kind of almost hate saying stuff like that because there's always somebody that's got it worse than you. And like, I've been to really rough, like truly the worst places in America. South Chicago, parts of Detroit, parts of Charleston, South Carolina are like unbelievable. Like you're literally in a third world country. So it's like, I didn't grow up in that exactly, but not too many notches above that. A little midday gratitude. I am very grateful to have a shop that's pretty much right down the street from Goodwill. Almost any time I need some small thing that would be like a thing Goodwill has, all I have to do is just hop on the old segue and it's a couple minutes down the street. Probably saved me a decent amount of money through the years. Liberty Hall, that's where I want to be. Host your event at Liberty Hall. Shop, sweet shop. Probably is advisable that I get out and enjoy the weather while I can, because it's gonna be getting freaking cold soon. Ooh, not like Indiana cold though. There's no shoveling driveways here unless we get a very strange series of weather events. Yep, that was refreshing. It's amazing how good for your mental health it is just to get some fresh air and get some coffee. Even if it's just for a couple minutes, it can be a very good thing. This candle has been a good service. Let's get cozy. Okay, I thought there was a little more life left in this. Very careful listeners will recall me saying in the Q&A that I pretty much don't have a sense of smell, or that I have a very weak sense of smell, which is true. And that's why when I burn candles, I light a bunch of them. When this really gets going, I can smell it. It's very, very subtle. But also there's just a certain warmth to it that's just not even really about smell. But yeah, I get big ones and stuff. Now that we are on a cozy trajectory, let's get some Dino Tunes going. We're gonna put back the Enya and let's see what we're gonna get here. Here we go. I don't know, I'm on an Enya kick. We're going with The Memory of Trees. Maybe one of her less good albums, but still, like, the least good Enya album is still a really good album. I would actually say Enya's debut album is probably her least good album. This may be the second least good, but it's still really good. Enya albums on cassette tend to have this blue color for some reason. I guess this will work. New spool clutch is printing. Last few days we've done a pretty good job with spools, getting nice and stocked up. So we should be good for a while. Really good one. Next on the docket, I really almost went with Bobby McFerrin. That is an unbelievable album. But I really feel like the John.
It's a little bit of me, this feeling inside, and you can tell everybody what they do. And you can tell everybody, I hope you don't mind, I hope you don't mind.
Getting late, can you see my mates? Tell me when my boys get here. Looks cute with the pretties and boots, a sample of grease in her hair. Saturday night's alright for fighting. Really like there's the sound of a switchblade in a motorbike. Saturday. Really getting some stuff done today. This guy did indeed have a nozzle clog. Just regular maintenance stuff, so nothing to worry about. Look at that guy. It's a really pretty complex model for something so large. It takes forever to make these. Bronto boy got done. I think he's going gray. Brontosaurus boy got done. I mean, he pretty much came out more or less perfect, but we're gonna clean him up. I was feeling this Al green the other day. I think we're gonna hit that again. Check this out. A new spool clutch. And it is beautiful, honestly. Yep, that'll work. Okay, I was 50-50 on this, but we are making a giant taco. And no, it's not finished. Bacon wrapped chicken tenders with a side of oranges. These are actually those kind. I did it. We've designed a taco. It's got a shell, meat, then I decided to do onions and tomatoes. I wasn't gonna do tomatoes, but when I was looking at it, there's just a lot of people that want tomatoes on their taco, so you have to give people what they want. We're gonna print the shell first, we're gonna paint everything, and then I'm gonna show you. And yes, I think we can get this done before the holidays. It's actually not that many grams compared at least to the fries or the burger, because you can only make it so big because it has to fit on the bed. As you can see, the pegs are almost full. We've got one peg and then one spool that needs to be put there. But we are about done with this wall, which is a big, big plus. May not look like much, but this is gonna be a big old taco. And that is enough filament for today. Whew. What a day. So much done. Feels really good to have designed one last giant food item before Christmas. People lose their minds for tacos. Could be a big deal. Also, when I asked you guys taco or hot dog, basically everybody said taco. So, thank you for that feedback. I'm grateful for today. It was a good day. I got to go get coffee and a bite to eat. It was nice taking a moment off. Still really enjoyed that Q&A episode. I was grateful for you guys' interest in various aspects of my life. I think doing that every 100 episodes is going to be pretty fun, which is about, every 3 months or so. I think that's a good little addition to this series. I think pretty much all the goals that I've set for my pre-Christmas sort of checklist are either getting done or have been done. Got tons of filaments. I still need to fix up a bunch of the small printers, but that won't take very long. It's something I've done a million times. It's all minor stuff, really. None of them have catastrophic problems. So I'm feeling pretty good about the whole thing. It's all I can think about is the Christmas thing. It's coming, and it's all you can do just to get ready for it. But I like to read all of your comments, so you know what to do. Tell me what you're grateful for in the comments. And tell me what projects you got going on and what small things you're thankful for. I like to read it. You'll probably get a heart. You'll probably get an upvote. And you know what? If you go and upvote other people's comments, maybe other people will upvote your comments. You never know. It really could happen. I'm not talking crazy. So I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Peace out, folks.